And what if you cut a tree down? Is it then dead? What about the centuries-old stump I introduced you to at the beginning of the book that is still alive today? Thanks to its comrades. Is that a tree? And if it isn't, then what is it? It gets even more complicated when a new trunk grows out of an old stump. In many woods, this happens all the time. For centuries in Europe, deciduous trees were cut right down to the base of their trunks by charcoal burners, who harvested them to make charcoal. New trunks grew from the base, forming the foundation for the deciduous woods we have today. Oak and hornbeam forest, in particular, originate from this kind of harvesting, which is known as coppicing. In these forests, the cycle of cutting back and allowing the trees to regrow was repeated every few decades, so the trees never grew tall or matured. Coppicing was popular because people were so poor in those days that they couldn't afford to wait any longer for new wood. You can spot these relics of bygone times when you take a walk in European forests. Look for trees that have numerous bushy trunks or thick calluses at the base, where periodic felling has encouraged a proliferation of growth. Are these trunks now young trees, or alternatively, are they really thousands of years old? This is a question also asked by scientists, among them a group researching ancient spruce in Dalarna province in Sweden. The oldest spruce in Dalarna has grown a carpet of flat shrubbery growth around its single small trunk. All this growth belongs to one tree, and its roots were tested using carbon-14 dating. Research revealed the spruce to be an absolutely unbelievable 9,550 years old. The individual shoots were younger, but these new growths from the past few centuries were not considered to be standalone trees, but part of a larger whole. And I think quite rightly so. The root is certainly a more decisive factor than what is growing above ground. After all, it is the root that looks after the survival of an organism. It is the root that has withstood severe changes in climatic conditions, and it is the root that has regrown trunks time and time again. It is in the roots that centuries of experiences are stored, and it is this experience that has allowed the tree's survival to the present day. As a result of this research on the spruce, a number of scientific schools of thoughts have been thrown overboard. On the one hand, before this research, no one had any idea that spruce could live for much more than 500 years. On the other, until then, people had assumed that this conifer first arrived in this part of Sweden 2,000 years ago after the ice retreated. For me, this inconspicuous plant is a symbol for how little we understand about forest and trees, and how many wonders we have yet to discover.